Okay, just finished a pedal board, which is my own for live in studio, and designed that at Nashvillerocker Audio Consultant, and which is my own business here in Franklin, Tennessee, Leapers Fort. Nashvillerocker.com is the website. So we'll go over the pedal board. Right now I'm using a Boss TU2 tuner. Below that is a Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2. Beside that is a power supply, and I have the pedal power going into that power supply, and it also has USB charger, which goes into the iPhone, and the iPhone has some cool applications now that you can download various tones into pedals now, and among other things. So that's what I use to charge the phone if I need it. Then we have a Analogman Juicer compressor, which is like a Dan Armstrong compressor back in the day, used by Larry Carlton, sometimes Steely Dan tunes, Jay Graydon, and among others, to get the cool sustaining Mark Knopfler type stuff. So that's what I use that for, and an Allen Holdsworth type sustain. Then I have an XTS Multi-Drive, and that's a very cool pedal. It also has EQ. It has a fat, a slim, and a fatter switch. Then on the other side it has an edge, a punch, and a soft switch. So these EQs can remove mid-hump that you can get from some tube screamers. So it's very useful in EQ, and I can pretty much keep that pedal on all the time, roll my guitar volume off or volume pedal, and it gets very clean. And then when I add more volume, you can go from crunch and to very sustaining lead tones. So it's a very, very cool pedal. Then I have a Cusack Tap-A-Whril. I use the Tap-A-Whril for vibe, tremolo, and detune. Then I have the XTS Tejas boost. I use that to add a little more gain if I need it. Boost my clean signal. As an EQ, I can have more glass, or if I want more bottom end, it has a treble and a bass. Then I have a TC Nova delay pedal, and I use this pedal just for subdividing the rhythms on the delays, which is a very cool feature. Then beside that is an Eventide PitchFactor. I use the PitchFactor for a tri-stereo type chorus, a detune chorus left and right, and harmonization. I don't like using chorus pedals. I like to use pitch pedals so I can have different pitch, sense, and whatever on each side. Then I have a Bob Bradshaw CAE buffer splitter, and that regains the signal when you're running quite a few pedals. Then I have a Zendrive overdrive, and that gets more of a Dumble-esque type Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, and works great with humbuckers. Single coils, I don't like it too much, but with the humbuckers it's really nice. So the signal chain is I have the tuner going into my CA splitter. Then I have the Analogman Juicer compressor going into the XTS Multi-Drive. From the Multi-Drive, I then have it going into the Zendrive pedal. From the Zendrive pedal, I have it going to the Tejas boost, and then the Tejas boost input to the buffer splitter output. This all goes to the input of my amp, because with gain pedals you really don't want to go in an effects loop. You want to keep the cleanest signal possible going in a flex loop. So that's well, you want to go in the preamp section in front of the amp, or the amp input, and that hits the preamp section with these pedals. So the juicer, the XTS pedal, the Zendrive pedal, and the Tejas boost, the XTS, all go in front of the amp. Then we have the loop of the amp, the effects loop. The TC output, I go into the input of the Eventide PitchFactor. Then I have the send of the effects loop going into the TC Nova delay. I then have a Y cable, a mono Y cable, which I split on the PitchFactor outs left and right, and then that goes into the Tap-A-Whril input. The output of the Tap-A-Whril goes to the amplifier return of the effects loop, and that's the cleanest signal for modulation effects. You don't, you don't want to use gain going through effects loop. Really gets nasty. So all my modulation and delays, the TC, the PitchFactor, and the Cusack, all go into the effects loops. And that's the signal chain. And what my main sound is for the board. So the next video we will be looking at will be the tones on part 2.